Hey there, it's Cindy Batty here from Wildfire Concepts again, and I'm here again with Keith, and we're just going to do a quick walkthrough. He wants to show us some of his CTA Surge, which I think you're really going to love. I'm pretty lucky because I've had a bit of a play with it, and I found it so fun to like create these call to actions and that are like really very sexy looking. You'll see in just a moment. So I've asked Keith to come and show us a bit of a demo, and I might just hand it over to you, Keith.
All right, thank you, Cindy. Okay, well, I'll quickly walk through here. So as you see, I have the dashboard up. It installs like any other WordPress plugin. You're building some timers and some opt-in pops. So you'll have a dashboard here filled with all of your timers and pops when you make them. So let's just go ahead. I'll break into building a timer real quick here.
Sure.
You're going to see we have three different types of timers to build: an evergreen, a date, time, and a cookie base. And I'll quickly build one here quick, and then we'll go through that. So
Sure.
We're always going to want to give us a little name here. So we'll just test timer. And of course, you can set it for as long as you'd like to. So we'll just do a quick 111 here.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to find that there's some expiry features and settings that you can set. Now you can set these, everything really pretty much below the fold here for design and expiry is the same for all three. So you can either have this thing do nothing after it's done. It'll basically just sit there at 0, which is kind of pointless, but hey, some people do it. You can redirect to a URL after it's over if you would like to redirect them to another offer or whichever page you'd like to. You can show some expired content as well. So it's, show me, or, maybe it's more like you missed it or something to that effect. And lastly, you can hide the timer. So it'll just simply disappear off of the page. We've got a selection of fonts here, so I'm just going to go ahead and just pick one of these. Different sizes that you can choose from, different colors that you can choose from as well. So I'll just pick a gray, and you can also translate it if you don't like the labeling of the days, hours, minutes, seconds. You can put whichever you like in there. There's a little preview here that's going to show, and it basically will work right here on the screen. So this is the particular one that I picked. And what I want to show you, I'm going to save this real quick. I want to show you is the easy way, and you can do this for either the timers or of the opt-in pops, is how to actually insert these into any page or post that you want to. So basically, I have a little generic demo page here. So I will insert this, and I have some generic text here. So we'll say urgency means, and I'm going to plug that thing right in here. This little guy right here will basically attach to any WordPress text editor that you have. And when you pop it open, you're going to see it's going to populate what you have. So you don't have to jump back and forth, copy and paste short codes, because that's really basically what it's going to do, is insert that in there for you. So you just simply update, and we'll take a view at it. And there we go. Nice. So in this particular case, I think I had it set to expire the content. Now, obviously, we're not going to wait a day, an hour, and 55 seconds to do that. What will happen is it will just basically display whatever text I want, or just pay attention to whatever setting you want. So altogether, I think with the timers, there's probably over 100 different combinations of sizing, colors, fonts that you can choose from.
Nice.
So what I'm going to do is that page, and I am going to hop over here. Oh, actually, let's hop back in here a second. So date and time, there's different ways you can. So the evergreen timer, basically what that means is that every time that the page is refreshed, it's just going to start the countdown over. I'm sure you've seen these a million times on different sites. You just keep getting refreshed. It just starts it over. Your date and time, you can actually choose the end date and the exact time, and of course your time zone of when you want that counter to stop. So if I, like for instance, I'm using this for my launch, so it's going to be opening, at say 11 o'clock on Tuesday. I've created my page for the countdown for that cart to open, and I've set it for that time. So if I go to that page right now, it will give me the exact time it takes until 11 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So you can set it in that fashion. And again, all these features down here stay the same. As a cookie base, it's basically you can set the number of days. So if I want to set this for, let's just say 4 days, which is basically the counter for 4 days, as soon as that visitor hits that page, it will count down for 4 days. Now, I could hit this page in a week, I could hit it in a month, I could hit it tomorrow.
Yep.
Either way, as soon as that first visit happens, it's going to start counting down to whatever number of days that I've set here.
Oh, that could be very powerful.
Yes, and these countdown timers, I mean, it's Cindy, they're extremely valuable. They work. That stuff works.
Yep.
And they're very easy to simple to do. I mean, I busted this thing out in a couple of minutes. You can put, you know, one timer on a page. You can put 100 timers on a page. It really doesn't matter. It's very lightweight.
Okay.
So hopping back, see here, and just to show you here, you can always use the old method of copy and paste if you want to, but you really don't need to with that little CTA Surge button that gets attached to the, you know, to the text editor. So
yeah, that's keeps handy.
Just kind of hop into the opt and pop here. Many more features on these, so I'll try to get through it without you know, without taking too much time here.
Sure.
But we'll just new pop. I'm just going to call this. So let's get into the layouts a little bit. You're going to see here there's about 22 different layouts that you can use.
Oh, wow.
They go from, you know, any, and I'll show you where a lot of these kind of have their meaning. I had these designed in this manner for different reasons, and you'll see by some of the features that I have what you can do with these pops and the different types of pops you can make. Some fit better in some situations than others, but you can use it. You can use any of these for all the different versions of pop-ups that I have. I'm just going to choose this one right here. Basically, what it'll do is it will load. So it's going to do, it's going to strip out all the generic text, which you see on these layouts, because that's really what it is. It's just all generic stuff, and it's a fake product. I just wanted you to kind of see what that layout would look like.
Yeah.
So as we begin to build this thing, you'll see there's you can set widths. There's a reason for setting widths, because you can actually upload your own body background image if you want to. So if you really wanted to design this yourself and just completely, and you can use it for any of the layouts, the layout will always stay intact, but you can replace this just kind of gray background with whatever. If you have an in-house designer or you're a designer, you can pop that in there, and it'll be a great background if you want to. But I'm the guy that loves stuff out of the box, so I'm just going to stick with this. We have a time in and a time out, which applies to just about all the different types of pop-ups, except one, which I'll get to. But the time in is basically, hey, in 3 seconds I want this thing to pop up, and in 6 seconds I want it to fade out. So if you don't want it to fade out, you just want it to stay there until it expires, or until the user closes it. You just simply click this box, that gets grayed out. So basically, it will stay on the screen, this pop-up, until that user closes it. You can also set it for dates. You can do things like, you know, hey, I really don't want this thing to start until next Tuesday. I want it to end a week from then. That way, you don't ever even have to come back into the plugin to delete it. It'll just automatically take care of it yourself. It'll show up next Tuesday. It'll end the Tuesday after that, or whichever dates you choose. So for the time on here, I'm going to go ahead and get a fake one here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use this exact same, all the same text, and apply 4 different types of pop-ups to it in really a matter of seconds here. And my body, so just bear with me a second while I copy and paste my text. And again, as I said, you can replace the body image if you want, or just have another solid background color if you choose to. It'll just replace that gray with whichever you choose. And let me go ahead and put that in there. Okay. All right. So now we have, you know, you're going to have your name, which is the subscriber name field, and your email. So we'll just say name, email, and I'll show you the preview of what all this stuff is going to do in a minute. The button name. So we're going to say, you know, download now. You can also change the button color, the button text, the button font size, whichever you like. Again, love it out of the box, so I'm going to leave it that way. Now, the particular image, and what we can do is just quickly take a peek at the preview here to kind of see how this is starting to get built. Now, keep in mind, this viewport here is about half the size of what it shows up, so you'll see this thing when I actually put it on the page, and it'll be beautiful, it'll be clear, and all will be well. So I leave this little image here just so you can see what that placement is. That's basically what you're going to get here. Pretty much all the pop-ups have some sort of an image to place. So we'll go ahead and do, oops, actually I didn't want to do that. I just want one from my media library here. And this is an old e-cover of mine. And yeah, we'll leave it at that size. Insert it in there. You'll see it give you a little preview here, and you can also preview it up here. So there it is right there. So all my text is in, and we basically... Now, it will do autoresponder integration. I left this here. This is insert raw HTML, so you can use whatever autoresponder you use. Pretty much everyone out there, anything that's worth anything, quite honestly, is going to give you this raw HTML. Yep. You'll copy that, paste it in there. You'll hit generate raw HTML, and it will basically allow you to map the 2 fields, your name and your email field. And you're ready to go. Or, if you want to, I've picked the top 3, at least the top 3 that I feel, is GetResponse, Aweber, and MailChimp. MailChimp I picked definitely because it's free, and for people who are beginning, they don't want to pay for autoresponders. MailChimp is an awesome little service. So basically with these, you can just connect, put your API key in, hit connect, and it'll bring back all your lists right here. You just choose which list you want this particular pop-up to go to once a new user subscribes. You can also take the thank you page. You can leave this blank, and just a generic message will come up after they submit saying, thank you, we've received your message. We also have if you do put a thank you page URL in there, it will obviously redirect them after the submission to take them wherever they'd like to go. Now we have, and just interrupt me, Cindy, if you need to.
No, this is fantastic. You know that there's been...
I'm going quick, but I'm going to get through it.
Yep.
We also have a couple options here where you can show this on every page or post. By default, it will not show up on any page until you actually insert it somewhere. But you could show it on every page and post. If it's a pop-up, you may want it to go throughout your blog or your site, whichever it is. Or you can actually choose whichever pages you want to show up, generic test pages that I have. You can choose whichever ones you'd like it to show up on. Or as I said, don't choose any and just insert it yourself. So for this particular example, I'm just going to right now leave it as a timed pop-up. We're going to come back in and I'll change these out real quick with the exact same design, and it will completely change the functionality of that pop-up. So I'm going to just save this quick. I'm going to hop back over to my demo page, and we'll probably kill the timer here that we used in the last example. And for a pop-up, you can place anywhere in any text field because it's really just a JavaScript. It's not actually going to render on your screen. So we have the pop-up there. Go ahead and update that. And let's take a look here. All right, so we just simply load the page. I think I had it set for 3 seconds, and there you go. As you can see, full screen, we're good to go. Now notice I'm scrolling here, and that's for a reason. I'll show you why. So let's hop back over, and I'm going to show you how quick you can change these options. So we'll just leave the exact same everything, okay? And we're going to just go, and we're going to leave this as, and we're going to embed it as what's called a floating widget. Now, you're going to have a couple of positions you can position it at, left, middle, or right. I'll choose middle, and hit save. And I won't have to edit anything in here because it's the exact same pop-up. I just need to refresh the page to get the new functionality. And again, it will still take 3 seconds as we had it set. Now, if you'll notice, when I scroll, it's locked. So it does not move. So as the user is scrolling down the page, your content will scroll all it needs to scroll, but it will not. This will not scroll with the page. And I've seen a lot of that in the stock market, actually in the stock niche. A lot of folks will have an article and they'll put a really big, really big thing, so you can't really read that content behind it until they fill out the information, hit download, and then they can read the content. So it's actually, I think, very effective. It's got me. So the other ones here is the obvious, is the exit pop. Now with an exit pop, you can certainly put your information. So I've already had something here. Wait, before you go, download my new sales funnel guide. Hit save. Don't have to edit anything in here. Just simply refresh and let that page load. And we're going to exit. And there it is. Wait before you go. That's the text you entered. We're going to stay on this page because I really want this. And there you go. And it pops up. So now, the last thing that we can do with it, which I find is probably the most unobtrusive type of a pop-up, but I think it's effective because it's curiosity, and I think that's another one of those triggers. People are just curious, like, oh, what is that? I should click that. So there's different positioning that you can dock this thing to, and I'll show you what I mean by docking. But there's that. You can tab text. So I'm going to say something like, free report. And we'll change some tab text color. So we'll just, I'll tell you what, we'll leave that black for right. Leave that black. And the tab background, you can actually change and put an image on this little tab, and I'll show you what that tab looks like in a second. But for now, I am going to just create some crazy, obnoxious color. And we'll leave it as the embed. And actually, you can preview this as well. I got to remember that this is a small report, but you'll see it does work in here. Okay, so that's what a slide out is. So let me save this and show you on a real size screen here, so you can see. And load. And there it is, free report. So as I'm scrolling, I'm looking, and It's just curious, and then bam, there it is. So there, as I had said before, there were some layouts that were real long and kind of skinny. I find that those really work well for these type of slide outs. But again, you can, whatever you want, you can make this with whatever you want. You have complete control and to design whatever you need to do. So that about sums it up, Cindy. I think I got through that as quickly as I could.
That is fantastic. There's like so many things there that you could do, and there were a couple of plugins that I used to use, and then they don't get maintained, and then they just don't work or they stop working. And this looks like it's basically got like 3 major functionalities that you can use, and definitely be useful for basically anyone's blog. Yeah, that is so very cool. So
yeah, I think there's seven different features across the pop-ins and timers, and honestly, I counted the combinations of what you could do with designs, the sizes, and it's well over 250, and you can do it so quickly. That's what I love about it. It's all in one. I can get this done in a minute if I wanted to, unless I want to spend the time to design, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I'm an out of the box kind of guy.
I'm a designer girl, so for me, I love that there's all of those different options, so you can change and customize it however you like. So that's very cool. I love out of the box, but I like being able to tweak just a little bit too. So, called CTA Surge is coming up very soon. What can you tell me what time it is and when people should get ready to go?
Yes, absolutely. It is Tuesday, May 19th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to be...
Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but for the first 4 hours of that launch, so 11, 12, 1, 2, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'm giving a $10 discount off of the agency license for this, which is about 32%, something like that, off of the price for that first 4 hours. So act right away and grab that savings.
4 hours only, so you guys have to move fast. Also, if you buy through my link, and you'll see the link shortly, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of other bonuses. So check out the website, and these are bonuses that I've talked to Keith, and we've kind of come up with a few extra really cool things and bonuses to give you a bit of an advantage on grabbing CTA Surge through the link below. Anyway, go grab the link. I will be in touch again with you soon. Thanks heaps for showing us through, Keith.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Cindy. I appreciate it.
Anytime, mate. Bye.